In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
When you are on your journey to success, there's going to be so many people that are going to tell you that you aren't good enough or you can't do something. And you need to make sure that you block them out. But if you do listen, use them as fuel and motivation to launch yourself to the next level. Make sure that they are your key reason for becoming successful because you want to prove them wrong. Those are the people that wish they could be successful and they're extremely jealous of the progress that you're making in your life and they wish they could be in your shoes. Yet they just don't have the nerve or the ingenuity or the right mindset to be able to go out and tackle your tasks that you really want to achieve so that one day you can become successful. The ones that say you can't do it and the haters that are telling you it's impossible are the same people who aren't going to become successful because they have a negative mindset and they don't believe in themselves, so they don't believe in anybody else. But if you believe in yourself, then you're going to believe others are capable of doing what you're able to do, because if you can do it, anybody can do it. That should be your mindset. So you need to be a positive influence to yourself, but also the world, and make sure you are constantly doing whatever you can to better yourself and better those around you on a daily basis. That by no means has to be these huge, incredible pieces of growth, but just little bits here and there day by day, and they will add up over time.
It's really good to be idealistic, but be prepared to be misunderstood. One day after class, I was talking to my students about going to college, and one of my top students raised his hand and said that he wasn't sure he could go to college because he's undocumented. He wasn't sure if they'd take him. Last year, I took him out to breakfast for his birthday, and I wanted to get him a gift, so I asked him what he wanted, and he just started talking about struggles that he saw other students in his class facing, and finally said, you know, I'd really just like a book on social justice. I was blown away. Here is a young guy who has every reason to be cynical. He wasn't sure if the country he calls home, the only one he's known, was gonna deny him his dream of going to college. But he wasn't feeling sorry for himself. He wasn't even thinking of himself. He has a greater sense of purpose, and he's gonna bring people along with him. It says something about our situation today that I can't even say his name because I don't want to put him at risk. But if a high school senior who doesn't know what the future holds for him can do his part to move the world forward, then we owe it to the world to do our part too.
You know, the trick is that the media likes to sensationalize this as if you have some eureka moment or you are some singular person who builds something on your own, and that's just not how the world works. You know, when I was in school, I built a lot of stuff that I just liked building. There was not a single moment when I had some revelation that Facebook was going to be awesome. That's not maybe how the media or movies or whatever would like to portray things. It's much less exciting. But the reality is, I think most services in the world that reach the scale that Facebook has, you start off building something that you care about, and you don't necessarily think it's going to be that big. I didn't. I built Facebook, the first version of Facebook, my college community, because I wanted to be able to connect with the people at my school. And I remember very clearly talking to my friends at the time and saying, it's how cool is it that we have built this community for our school? One day it's going to be awesome when somebody else builds this for the world, because something like this needs to exist for the world. But it didn't even occur to me that, my friends and I might be able to play a role in doing that.
Today, I want to talk about purpose. But I'm not here to give you the standard commencement about finding your purpose. We're millennials. We try to do that instinctively. Instead, I'm here to tell you that finding your purpose isn't enough. The challenge for our generation is to create a world where everyone has a sense of purpose. One of my favorite stories is when JFK went to go visit the NASA Space Center, and he saw a janitor holding a broom, and he asked him what he was doing, and the janitor replied, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." Purpose is that feeling that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, that you are needed, and that you have something better ahead to work for. Purpose is what creates true happiness. And you are graduating at a time when this is especially important. When our parents graduated, that sense of purpose reliably came from your job, your church, your community. But today, technology and automation are eliminating many jobs. Membership in a lot of communities has been declining, and a lot of people are feeling disconnected and depressed and are trying to fill a void in their lives. The greatest successes come from having the freedom to fail. Now, today, we have a level of wealth inequality that hurts everyone. When you don't have the freedom to take your idea and turn it into a historic enterprise, we all lose. And right now, today, our society is way over-indexed on rewarding people when they're successful, and we don't do nearly enough to make sure that everyone can take lots of different shots. Now, let's face it, there is something wrong with our system when I can leave here and make billions of dollars in 10 years, while millions of students can't even afford to pay off their loans, let alone start a business. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and I don't know a single person who gave up on starting a business because they were worried they might not make enough money. But I know too many people who haven't had the chance to pursue their dreams because they didn't have a cushion to fall back on if they failed.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead, like the video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comments section below.